All right, let's get right into it. If you want to absolutely master your next behavioral interview, you really need a solid framework. And today, we're going to break down one of the most powerful tools out there for doing just that, the STAR method. Oh yeah, you know this one. That's the phrase that can make even the most confident person's heart skip a beat. It's the classic opening to a question designed to figure out how you handle real-world challenges. But let's be honest, for a lot of us, this is exactly where things start to go wrong.
It is just so easy to start rambling here, isn't it? We kind of fall back on these fuzzy statements like, oh, it was a big success, or, we all worked together really well. But that doesn't actually tell the interviewer anything specific about your contribution or your real impact. Vague answers, well, they just don't get you the job.
So what's the fix? Well, the good news is it's a simple, super memorable structure. The STAR method is basically your secret weapon here. The best way to think about it is as a framework for telling a really compelling and, most importantly, an effective story about your career. You know, the real beauty of STAR is that it follows a natural storytelling arc that we all understand. First, you have the situation, where you set the scene. What was going on? Then the task. What was the specific challenge you were facing, or what was your goal? Next up is action. This is the real meat of the story, where you detail the steps you specifically took. And finally, the result, the big payoff, the outcome of all your hard work. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The most critical part of this whole story, the result, is also the one that people mess up the most often. It is so easy to be vague here, but this is exactly where you have to be vivid. This is your moment to really drive the point home. I love this quote from Einstein because it just hits the nail on the head, right? Interviewers are just like the rest of us. They want to see clear, concrete results. They don't want to just hear that you were busy. They want to see the impact of what you did, the real, tangible outcomes. So, how do you make your results pop? Well, it really all comes down to numbers. Let's look at this example from, say, a software tester. The before answer? It's fine, I guess, but it's a little fluffy. The after answer, though, now that is powerful. It has a number, it's specific. It shows a real, measurable impact on the business. And this right here just shows you the incredible power of a single number. That 12%, it's concrete, it's memorable. It tells the interviewer that you don't just complete tasks, you actually understand how your work connects to the bigger picture, and, crucially, that you track your own success. And if you want to make those results even stronger, you've got to add context. Don't just say you increased sales by 20%. Was that 20% better than last year? Was it above the target? Maybe it was the best on your team. Answering these kinds of questions shows real business savvy and makes your impact totally undeniable. Okay, so you've got STAR down. You're using numbers to show your results. Now, how do you take this to the absolute next level and really, truly stand out from the competition? Well, you add a secret ingredient. Think about it. Every great story has a moral, right? A key takeaway. In an interview setting, this is where you show your wisdom, your self-awareness, and a real commitment to growing. It's the part that proves you don't just have experiences, you actually learn from them. And that's where we add an L for learnings. This is where you take a moment to reflect on what the whole experience taught you. Let me tell you, hiring managers absolutely love this. Why? Because it shows you're coachable, you're thoughtful, and you're always looking for ways to get better. This is a game changer, especially if they ask you about a time you failed or hit a major setback. And it doesn't have to be some grand, complicated revelation. A simple, reflective sentence is perfect. So for instance, if you were talking about a marketing campaign, you could wrap it up with something like, looking back, this experience really taught me how important it is to focus on the things that will actually move the needle on our main goal. See? That connects a specific task to a broader strategic lesson that you'll take with you. It's just a sign of a real pro. So, you've got the theory down. Now let's turn this into your actual game plan. We're going to cover the most common slip-ups people make and give you some pro tips you can start using right away. All right, these are the big pitfalls to watch out for. We've already talked about being vague and forgetting to use numbers, but another huge one is using we when you really mean I. The interviewer needs to know what your specific role was. And of course, while you definitely need to prepare, you don't want to sound like a robot reading a script. You still got to be you. And I've got some good news for you. You do not need to prepare 100 different stories for 100 different questions. The trick is to think of your best stories like master keys. One really great detailed story about a complex project can be used to unlock answers about leadership, teamwork, data analysis, all depending on how you frame it.
The goal here is absolutely quality over quantity. Just aim to prepare and really master about 5 to 10 of your best, most versatile career stories. Seriously, that's it. It's a totally manageable goal, and it'll leave you feeling confident and ready for pretty much anything they can throw your way.
So there you have it. A powerful, simple framework to turn your past experiences into compelling stories that will get you hired. The only thing left now is to start practicing. So let me ask you, what's the first story you're going to tell?